go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I audible? Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here this afternoon to deliver a few remarks in the presence of His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the former president of the Republic of Malawi, which happens to be our neighbor to the south. We were one country at some point in the past before we gained independence. It's a real honor. Let me also recognize the chairman and the board of the APO. Allow me to recognize the distinguished commissioners, honorable ministers, heads of delegations, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to thank very quickly the panelists for the session that just ended, for their very insightful submissions and, of course, for the conversation that we have had. I would ask for you to please give them another round of applause. Africa enters this moment not as a continent waiting to be invited into global transformation, but as a co-architect of the world's economic and governance future. Under the banner Forces of the Future, we gather to convert momentum into measurable action, anchored in Africa's demographic dynamism, expanding regional markets, and rising geopolitical importance in the global energy transition. Excellencies, Africa holds 30% of the world's critical minerals, including cobalt, copper, manganese, rare earth, and platinum group metals, resources essential to clean energy technologies and the digital economy. The African Union views these materials as catalysts for industrialization, economic sovereignty, and leadership in the global energy transition, guided by the African Green Minerals Strategy, which aims to coordinate mineral-producing countries, promote beneficiation, and shift Africa from importing raw materials to adding value domestically. This vision underpins the AU's plans to establish a coalition of African critical mineral producers to strengthen cooperation in production, refining, monetization, while enhancing climate-resilient development and continental bargaining power. The AU's message is clear. Africa's mineral wealth must no longer leave the continent unprocessed. Zambia has aligned fully with this vision. We have introduced regulatory reforms, revived large-scale mining assets, modernized our mineral governance systems, and invested significantly in geological mapping. Our Zambia DRC value chain MOU stands as a concrete milestone, advancing joint beneficiation, regional value addition, and Africa-owned path to green industrialization. The global green transition simply cannot succeed without Africa. We contribute the least to climate change, yet we bear the harshest consequences. Our nationally determined contributions commit us to emission reduction and climate resilience, but these commitments require technology transfer, predictable climate finance, and equitable participation in carbon markets. Zambia is expanding its renewable energy, opening access to electricity markets, and digitalizing our grid. What we ask is straightforward but urgent. Honor climate finance commitments, scale investments in green energy corridors, and support Africa's right to industrialize sustainably. Excellencies, we are witnessing a convergence of irreversible forces reshaping governance, economics, and diplomacy across Africa. demographic dynamism and rapid urbanization, combined with a median age of just 19 and a half years of age, makes Africa the only major region whose working age population will still be expanding in 2040. At the same time, the African Continental Free Trade Area unites 55 countries into the world's largest free trade area, encompassing 1.4 billion people and a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion United States of America dollars. Infrastructure remains the bloodstream of Africa's economic emergence. The AU's Agenda 2063 and Programme for Infrastructure Development in Africa, PIDA, highlight the centrality of regional connectivity. Zambia is advancing this vision through the Lobito Corridor, the revitalization of the Tanzania-Zambia Railway, modernization of the North-South Corridor, and upgraded one-stop border posts in Kazungula, Chirundu, and Nakonde and Tuduma, with a view to advancing to non-stop border posts, or no-stop border posts, as it were. These are not aspirations. They are functioning arteries enabling intra-Africa trade and linking our continent to global markets. Africa calls on global partners to prioritize co-investment in transboundary infrastructure rather than fragmented projects that perpetuate dependency. Excellencies, reforming the global financial architecture is no longer a moral plea. It is an economic necessity. Africa cannot finance its transformation under systems that penalize developing economies with high borrowing costs and limited access to long-term capital. The AU common position calls for fairer multilateral lending rules, the rechanneling of special drawing rights, and governance reforms at the IMF and the World Bank. Zambia's successful restructuring, saving 7.6 billion United States of America dollars by 2026, has enabled us to present a 2026 national budget with a fiscal deficit target of just 2.1% of GDP, the lowest since 2011, alongside projected real GDP growth of 6.4%. This shows what is possible when global systems work, but also expresses how slow and unequal current processes remain. Excellencies, the choice before us is no longer assistance versus investment. It is extractive partnerships versus co-owned ecosystems. Europe's global gateway, the Africa-EU joint vision for 2030, multilateral institutions and private capital can become historic partners, but only if they decisively shift from assistance to co-investment. This co-investment must be in Africa-led projects that uphold sovereignty and deliver shared prosperity. To African governments, the post-aid era demands stronger domestic governance. We must deliver security, democratic legitimacy, and inclusive prosperity. To multilateral institutions, upcoming quarter reviews must reflect today's realities. Africa must be treated as an equal shareholder in institutions that govern the global future. Zambia is already translating commitments into institutions. In May, Lusaka will host RightCon 2026, the world's premier summit on digital rights and governance, affirming our leadership in digital sovereignty, inviting global partners to co-create enduring solutions. We stand ready to welcome institutional investors and European partners to engage directly with bankable sovereign projects that generate shared returns. Excellencies, as I draw to a conclusion of my remarks, I'd like to say that as Africa enters a post-aid era, our partnerships must evolve. They must evolve from assistance to investment rooted in sovereignty, shared prosperity, and mutual respect, as I have already alluded to, Zambia's foreign policy, anchored on peace, security, and stability, and economic diplomacy, embodies this paradigm. We champion peaceful resolution of conflicts in the Great Lakes region and around the globe, uphold democracy, and continue creating an environment conducive to responsible investment and strong value chains. To Africa, our call is clear. We must strengthen governance, deepen regional integration, safeguard peace and constitutional order, and harness our demographic and mineral advantages with unity and purpose. To the world, our message is equally clear. Align with Africa's transformation. Invest in Africa-led value chains. Support fair global financial reforms. Honor climate commitments. Engage Africa as an equal partner, not a beneficiary. Let this gathering be remembered not as another forum of declarations, but as a turning point where Africa and its partners moved from ambition to implementation, from potential to power, from rhetoric to results. Zambia stands ready. Africa stands ready. The future is not approaching. The future is here, and it is African. Merci beaucoup. Asante sana. Sito Mopandi. Thank you very much.